A word for our listeners. Masks of Nyarlathotep is set in the 1920s. We will be using terms and sayings from those times, including some that could be considered offensive. It is not our intention to offend. We merely wish to offer as accurate a view of the time period as possible. Welcome to the Nerds Domain presents Masks of Nyarlathotep. Join us each week as our investigators follow a path of clues and attempt to save the world from an ancient evil. Starring John Quiett, Jestin Kimmet, Shirley Niedzwiecki, George Chimples, Jason Hall, and Scott Troiano, with Matt Quiett running the table as keeper. Eldritch evils and crazed cultists await you just beyond this music.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Masks of Nyarlathotep. I'm here with John.
Hello.
Jason.
Hello.
Scott.
Blarg.
Justin.
Yo.
George.
Hi.
And Shirley already introduced herself, but I'm Matt.
Yo, what's up?
What is that?
No.
Wow.
What's up, Kim?
That's her PG-13 mouth.
Yeah.
So,
And if you're one of our Patreon subscribers, you can hear why that PG-13 mouth is funny.
we just shot Tandor Singh in the head. Where are we going to now?
So you said you wanted to bury him?
Was this
I
where
uncuff the...
is this where you were going to end last time?
I uncuff the
Body?
Cuffs.
body, the cuffs. I hoist arms under him, drag him out of the back room to the head of the stairs, and chuck him down the stairs. Just toss him. If he doesn't make it all the way down the stairs, oh well.
Okay.
And then I turn and look at Catherine and go, oh, bury him if you'd like. And I walk out, pick up my two bundles of tea, sniff the air for kerosene, smile to myself, and walk out the front of the store.
Okay.
You're gone. Hey, what does everybody else
I think
do?
it would be best to bury him that way. There's no sign of us for a while.
I think the fire's going to be a good sign.
That's the thing. We don't want to start a fire.
I don't think it's a little late for that.
Like, I'm just kind of acknowledging that Ma's going to do what he wants to do no matter what we tell him.
We're going to be wanted before we leave this place.
I'm headed back to the inn.
Unless we're fire gods.
Alright, so you're headed back to the inn. Are you also headed back to the inn?
Well, I'm waiting for everybody else to pile out and Ma to start the fire.
What kind of
Sure,
traffic
let's
is
go.
going on the street
Well,
around
there's
us?
people. I mean, it's Browntown business.
Are we being noticed? Like, are they looking at us?
Yes, because you're all white.
Yeah.
In Browntown.
Well, you're not all white. You got some mud on your arms.
So,
Honestly, nobody's noticing that because it's muddy or it's rainy season, so you better probably mud on the street anyway.
we do pile up, I would pile up a couple more bundles, like we had bought a lot from the store,
Okay.
just to maybe make people think we were just
That's
spending
why the
a lot
shop
of
was
money.
closed, because lots of money came into the store.
Yeah.
Is there like a wood stove or something in the back?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Go take
It's his house.
Go take the thing and go put it by the wood stove so that the fire looks like it starts there.
You gonna do that?
Yeah, I'll try and make it like stoke a fire in the stove so it's nice and hot. Then kind of like put some stuff that's combustible but not immediately so the fire will
Eventually catch
start
Wow.
theoretically, like 20 minutes afterwards. I will also wait till everybody leaves. Is there a back entrance?
Yes, there's a side entrance.
I mean, I'll go out that way and try and go through some back alleys.
Only luck. I assume everybody else is leaving.
Yes. I'm going to leave drinking my tea. Entirely casual.
Yes, because people usually walk down the street with stolen peaches.
I
Well,
failed.
no, like we're leaving with a huge bundle of tea.
That's
I'm going to
true.
make it look like I was
You
there.
failed.
Yes.
You make it out the alley, you close the door, you go down a little ways, and the fire starts way earlier than you wanted. Everybody else is away, and you're going to be away, but the suspicion it will be higher, more likely to be higher.
Yeah, when some lose them.
So you guys all head back to the hotel?
Sure.
What's your next step?
We'll set some fires also.
Mom's
There's
gonna
clearly
go
some
around
crazy
random-
pyromaniac in town, but it's not us setting it, but it is though. I don't know.
Nobody remembers the Chinese man anyway. They just blend in.
Yeah, there were more there than you'd expect, but
So where are you guys heading next?
Didn't you guys get the clue of some guy somewhere?
Nope.
No.
No.
There were no
Somebody
clues
got a
with that
clue
guy.
about some. Oh, we did. What did?
I don't know, Miss Clue. What clues did you get?
Well, we told the guy that he was pregnant, then he thought we were crazy, so we left.
Dr.
Yeah.
Starrett mentioned something about.
What? No,
The
you
guy.
tell me. I don't know what you're talking about.
He told you guys to go to the government house to go hire
government house,
water
too.
bearers or something.
Yeah.
If you wanted to hire Nandi tribesmen, I think.
Yeah,
There was that, but I thought there was something before.
We were also. It'd also be good for us to check with the Nadi to see if any of them were wet nurses.
Midwives.
Not wet nurses.
They're-
There's a total
Same thing.
Total difference.
Wow.
Not at all. Listen.
No, they. Just so that Frank knows, they're two totally different things.
Are they?
Yes. A
Ah,
wet nurse.
okay.
will
We haven't been
nurse
saying
a
that.
child.
We don't need to explain it to
Apparently,
the listeners.
this
Yeah.
is also so
Let's move
Jesse
on.
knows the difference.
Let's move on. Where are you guys headed? You guys don't know.
Well, we can
No.
talk to. There's Sam Moriga, who's found the bodies. Would be interesting. There's also Neville Gurman, or whatever. I forget what he did.
He had some contact, if I remember correctly. He had some contact with.
Yeah, he talks to Carlisle. I forget what his actual deal was. He's not the doctor. And then there's also Roger Corden at the government house,
There you go.
where we'll be probably arrested if we go there.
And did Singh say something about the bodies not rotting, or did somebody just know that?
They did rot.
No, they haven't rotted.
No, the bodies that of the supposed Carlisle.
Oh, yeah.
He said that was a rumor, but I wouldn't believe him.
I think we go check it out.
Well, that is the plan eventually, but
But where were they buried? We could just
They're not buried.
They're
Oh,
just
yeah.
They're
laying
just sitting out
around.
there.
still.
You haven't been
Yeah.
paying
That's the
attention
idea.
for 13 months.
that's
7
the
years.
story that we've been told.
Okay.
So where are you headed?
Okay.
You just gave me all the places you could go. Now tell me where you are going.
Yeah, I'm throwing that out there for consumption. Who wants to go somewhere?
I can't think of anything useful here. If we killed the guy that was sicking the fire vampires on us, which we believe we did because he had a train ticket for the same train we were on.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, I told you about this before they
Oh.
showed up.
Okay.
So he had a ticket for the same train we were on and a claim ticket for a shipment of tea. Probably something he was putting away when we walked in. I think we're done here. We should move on to the side.
Did we
of
start
things.
smelling burnt tea in the air?
Yeah, before too long.
That spell you were talking about, draining the power of people, would it be more potent if the person was carrying another person inside of them?
What?
What?
Given that I have no experience, I wouldn't really know.
It's not covered in the provided
Yeah,
material.
yeah. Theoretically,
Oh, okay.
yes. Functionally, no idea.
We should see Sam Moriga at the very least. He may be familiar with the area and can tell us a good way to get there.
Right, he's the one who found the bodies, which is what I'm saying. We go to that site next.
He is. He's at the train station. It's not far from your hotel.
Well then, let's go.
So as we're walking, I will ask, like, what are all the curses that we've heard that's going on? What are we trying to stop? It doesn't have anything to do with bringing about another child or
What
something
now?
to the world.
What was the question? What are you
What
trying to
was-
stop?
She's asking about the
Yeah.
prophecy, because there's something about bringing
Prophecy.
something into the world earlier.
On the 14th of January 1926, which is still
A ways away.
Months.
We're in April.
months away. The child of Nyarlathotep will be born, or something will happen. Not necessarily born, but emerge.
Oh, and we got a pregnant lady now.
Will arise.
Was pregnant 5 years ago. Just so you know, Jesse, normal human pregnancy is 9 months. Give or
What
take.
have we been dealing with that's been normal so
What's
far?
what's the gestation period of an elder god, though? Can we roll on
Exactly.
that? Can we roll call?
Or worse,
Can I roll biology?
No.
or worse.
Geography. You want to roll geology?
Yeah, I do actually.
Or worse.
Go ahead.
Start.
Close,
Or-
but that's a guy.
Or worse, if young Miss Hypatia was pregnant and then slain and her body left in the sands, not to decompose or change in any way in the 7 years, there is still a pregnant body with a potentially viable child in it, waiting for to be the vessel of this
Except
thing.
our current theory is there were no white people killed in this massacre.
But no one wanted to look at the bodies to actually verify that.
All right, so you guys head to the rail station.
People in the
And that's
streets
just
overhear our
creepy.
conversation. How do they take that? Do they like
I
it?
assume you're talking quietly enough that no one's going to overhear it.
In between passersby.
I personally am not overly quiet.
As long as Frank doesn't scream, "She's pregnant!" again.
Do you?
That's
In a quiet lull.
Just waiting for the noise to...
You find Mr. Mariga working on some planting stuff.
I beat him up. I'm kidding. Sorry.
Set him on fire.
Sorry.
Just open with that.
We're going to focus.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Sure we are.
How flammable is this train station?
Thank you, bro.
Mariga is a large, strong man. A little bit on the old side, but what you would imagine, like modern football or basketball players, that general build to them. Although he's a little leaner than what you would expect a well-fed American to be.
Lacrosse.
Well, sure. What a pansy. And so you approach him. Who's going to talk?
The priest steps forward again.
Yeah.
And Mr. Mariga, we are looking for information on the Carlisle expedition.
They were out in they were found out in the brush years ago. What information do you think that I might have?
Well, we don't know what information you might have. We're actually interested in hiring you to lead us to the area.
I could do that, yeah.
Okay.
What else? Was there more you wanted to know about it?
What do you remember? What were your impressions of the events?
Terrible sight. Bodies strewn everywhere. Parts of bodies hanging.
What ethnicity is this man again?
Black.
Okay. This might sound like an indelicate question, but there are things that we need to know. Were any of the individuals that you saw Caucasian?
I can't say that I went through the bodies from where I stood. No.
Okay.
When you said the bodies were hanging, does it look like they were thrown there or placed there purposefully?
No, ropes.
Noose, yeah.
Yeah, they were strung up.
Are you familiar with the local tribes and cults in the area?
I know the tribes. If you want more information on the cults, maybe Johnston Kenyatta would help you.
Who is that?
He's a local gentleman, local black gentleman who has some ties politically and culturally here.
As far as the tribes go, is there a tribe that would practice such mutilation as a tactic of warfare, or
No, this was more than just the tactic of warfare. This was desecration.
how soon would you be ready to take us out?
I need to inform the railway of any changes to my schedule, but out that far, I would need to get supplies and that kind of thing. I'd say an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours.
And where would this other gentleman with the cult information be found?
You can find him on Mariana Street in Blacktown. He also can be found at the Kikuyu Central Association
What does that mean?
That's it's a political organization trying to gain black representation in the colonial government.
Is he a stand-up gentleman, or?
Oh yes, he's a well-spoken proponent of our political rights.
Bless you.
So friends, what do we want to do? Do we want to leave now? Or would we like to go... I guess, okay. Would this other gentleman have had any connection or ties to the Carlisle expedition when it came through by chance?
I'm sorry, what? No, but he did speak with... No, he didn't speak with them. No.
Couldn't we have him with the train ready as we go talk to
It's not a
this
train.
fellow?
You're going to be going overland. Supplies?
Gets the supplies ready.
Yes, we should speak with this Kenyatta fellow.
Alright. Then prepare yourself and we will return.
Alright, I will prepare enough for the 7 of us. Is that all?
Should be.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. I don't suppose Mr. Kenyatta might... Yeah, no, never mind.
No.
I didn't say anything.
How far away is this site?
We will need to stay overnight in the brush or in a friendly village, and I know a few.
All right. Load for bear.
Or elephant.
Yeah, I would prefer you ride elephants rather than the bears. That's going to be a rough ride. Oh, bear.
No, load for bear. Bring all the toys.
So you're going to ride 4 bears. So you guys head over to Kenyatta at the Kikuyu Central Association. Walking through Blacktown doesn't, like, people notice you, but they don't stare. When you open the door into the association, everyone inside who's black turns, stares, and their mouths just drop open. It's clear, no one has to roll psychology, it's clear that no white people walk in here ever. Like, this is just strange to them that you would ever think to enter such a building.
Alrighty.
Hello.
Yeah. Mom's just like,
Hey there.
Hello, my name is... Father Valentin Grave. We wish to speak with Mr. Kenyatte.
A well-dressed black gentleman in proper, like, British suit and tie, like 3-piece suit, like you would see in a well-respected gentleman in London, steps forward. Gentlemen, ma'am, and speaks in a very clear, almost accentless English. Please, what can I do for you? I am Johnston.
You're who?
Johnston, Kenyatta.
Sorry, player
Yeah,
information. Mr. Kenyatta, we are travelers who have taken it upon ourselves to trace the path of the Carlisle expedition in an attempt to learn anything that may have been missed years ago. I know that sounds like a strange occupation to have, but it is the task that we are left with. So we've come here because we are told that you might be able to offer us insights into the stranger activities that go on, the cultish activities.
Well, how about we take this into one of the meeting rooms, away from the general busyness of the office.
That sounds perfectly acceptable.
He leads you. He strides confidently and calmly to one of the meeting rooms, welcomes you all in, shuts the door
And burns down the building.
Yes, and drops the like it's one of the doors with a glass window and blinds. He drops the blinds. So come sit. So tell me exactly what information you're looking for. You mentioned cultish activities. Could you be more specific?
Bloody tongue, black wind.
Oh, you know the mountain of Black Wind.
Yes.
Where did you come upon this information?
Multiple locations, I believe. All tied to the Penhues.
There's evil afoot, sir.
There is. So tell me more. You've come here just to gain knowledge and see if anything is missed?
Well, there are... To be perfectly honest, there are things we aren't going to tell you, no matter what you ask. But we have reason to believe that the story of the Carlisle expedition was not factually reported, and certain individuals wish to delve into that. There was a man named Jackson Elias who came through here.
I met Jackson.
Well, he was... he is unable to continue the investigation, and we are assisting on that.
I keep an eye on him. Like, I let everybody question him, but I keep an eye on him to make sure he's telling the truth or something maybe missed.
The old ways of the tribes and now the cults are cruel. And my knowledge of them is imperfect. More than 20 years ago, I fled my home where I heard many such stories. My grandfather was a great Yorai, what you would call a diviner. I had tried to leave that world behind and enter yours, gentlemen. How ironic I find it that as I strain to become something different, is my heritage that keeps bringing people like you to me, yourself and Mr. Elias. Much of what you say I do not understand, and even more of it I find hard to believe. Perhaps traces of my grandfather cling to me, but I perceive something special about your party. If you are willing, there's a man you should meet. I did not send Jackson Elias to him, for Elias seemed doomed to me, and I could not burden my friend with such a difficult gift. But your destinies are unfinished. Perhaps you have great victories to live for. Or perhaps you will undergo tragedies as terrible as can befall mortal men. Would you care to meet my friend?
Yes.
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 Give me a few minutes. And he walks out for a few minutes.
I make sure the
sit
door...
in any of the chairs.
Make sure the door doesn't get locked behind you.
Everybody's like, make sure the doors are locked. You inspect the chairs. Everybody's pointing guns at the door.
You hear a hissing sound? It's
You
closed.
smell it. Your head gets light. You're dizzy. Anyway.
There's a bunch of battle droids. Pull out your lightsabers.
So, he comes back and says, a friend waits for you beside the door. And he motions right back to the door he came in. You must follow him at a distance. He will make sure you are not left behind. If he stops and waits, then you must also stop and wait. The door he enters will have yellow paint. That door you will enter also, swiftly and without hesitation. I am very glad to invite you. He holds out his hand to each investigator to shake it. And then he walks out and goes.
Before else, good luck with your work, sir.
Thank you.
Wasn't
Alright.
that robe yellow?
Did you get a good look at it?
I think it was soaking kerosene. Yeah.
Stuffed under
Sort
the...
of looked not yellow.
Alright. So, you guys walk out.
Yeah.
There's a very, very tall black man wearing a white shirt and pants, but without shoes, waiting for you. He smiles and then goes out the door.
Haitian.
What?
The Haitian heroes.
Yes, exactly. So he's very tall.
Yeah.
if you get too close while following him, he moves quicker. It's clear that he wants you to follow him, but not seem like you're following him.
Right.
He leads you through.
Does he look aside from him being tall? Does he look otherwise normal? Like his elbows don't bend in the wrong direction?
Oh yeah, no, he looks normal. He's just
Okay.
tall. Like he's probably like 6'8".
Okay.
But this is a region where that wouldn't be that weird. Like there's some very tall tribal groups
Yeah,
out there.
absolutely.
Sure, but I just want to make sure he actually had human anatomy and wasn't actually a monster.
Progress through Blackhound goes smoothly. Why don't you guys all roll me an idea?
Nope. No idea for me.
Pass.
Oh, pass.
Yep.
It's clear that he's not necessarily like leading you in some weird way, but he's making sure no one is following besides you guys or watching. This part of Nairobi is poor, but people are cheerful and seem to take some sort of pride in their homes and in their appearance.
They aren't reacting poorly to a bunch of
No.
outsiders.
When you step through he finally comes to a house, steps through a doorway into a house with a yellow door. Are you going to follow him in?
Yep.
Oh, yes. I take it
At
like
a
class
discreet
1 9
distance.
3/4.
You find yourselves in a small shed beside a high-wheeled yellow Rolls-Royce Roadster in different condition. Your guide holds open the door and motions for you to sit in the car.
Cool.
Do you guys all get in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Catherine?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. In just a few minutes, you're bouncing along the dirt road several miles outside of Nairobi, scattering bicycles and anal-drawn carts
Left that guy waiting.
as you go, and leaving behind a cloud of dust. You eventually come to a small village that you see like on a hand-painted wooden sign, Boyovu. Probably the name there. You stop just beyond a circle of huts. Your guide gets out, but motions for you to stay in the car. The guide goes and talks to another man. They have a talk at length in Swahili, which I assume no one speaks, because that would make no sense for any of you to know it, which is okay. And then it's rather hot in the car. Whatever. Village children gather around watching you. And then after a while, your guide motions for you to come out and introduce you to Okomu. So I am Okomu. Mr. Kenyatta has sent you out here. What exactly is it you want?
We're searching for information on the Carlisle expedition.
Along with the Bloody Tongue and the Black Wind.
To what end?
To stop them.
Stop them from what?
Whatever
Birthing
it is they're
something.
doing.
Birthing something.
An aspect or avatar of Nyarlathotep.
Somebody can give me a persuade roll.
Got it. 23 under 85.
Okay. So, what exactly is your plan to stop this birthing? Where are you at in this mission?
We have no idea. Our trail is going cold. That's why we're here.
And you know of the mountain?
Yeah, we know of it.
Have you been there?
No, we don't know where it is.
Any Kikuyu can lead you that way. They may not be able to find a way in, but they can lead you to the mountain.
Okay.
So anyone that has been in that general area would be more than able to.
Is it a matter of the entrance being invisible?
It's a matter of it's a mountain. just who knows where those entrances are. The Kikuyu know of the mountain, but stay away from it because of the cult.
Who are the Kikuyu again?
They're just the tribal people of this area. So almost probably all the blacks that you've seen so far are Kikuyu in some way.
Okay.
What should we do once we gain entry into this mountain?
You wish to stop this birthing, kill the High Priestess. Imwaru is your target there. It sounds familiar. It might be the black lady that brought the Carlisle expedition here.
She still lives?
That would be your assumption from what he just said, yes.
Well, I asked the question directly.
Oh, absolutely. Why wouldn't she live?
The story that reached our ears was that the entirety of the Carlisle expedition was slain.
All of their black servants were slain, but many of our tribesmen have checked the area. Not a single Caucasian person is out there. That was part of the sacrifice to start what's going to happen, I'm sure. This birthing, you call it, that will be the problem.
If you're aware of this in some fashion, is there anyone else working to...
No, the Kikuyu are, including myself, we're not prepared for such a confrontation. Superstition and fear take a great toll on our people.
So you'd rather let the world be destroyed?
Have you ever tried to move a cow that doesn't want to move?
Yes.
Yeah.
Doesn't work, does it?
Depends on what you use.
Well, when you have access to the right tools, I guess.
Those tools are not currently in my hands.
How can we kill her? We've attempted to kill priests before and they have returned.
What priests?
In Egypt.
He dispersed himself into a sand-like form and then later resurrected himself.
Oh, that is terrifying.
Yes.
I can't say for sure that I would know in a situation like that what to do, but I don't believe that the Bloody Tongue priests and priestesses have that option.
What do they specialize in, if you don't mind my asking? What should we expect from them? What are their rumored abilities?
Insanity. They touch the dark powers and draw spells and rituals from it that are beyond my understanding. Dangerous, though. Very dangerous.
Interesting.
What else do they believe? What is this bloody tongue?
It's an aspect of a creature you might know as Nyarlathotep.
I've seen him once.
So,
I will...
You say that out loud?
I muttered underneath my breath, yeah.
What did he say?
I've seen him once.
I've seen him once.
Are you familiar with a tea seller named Tandor Singh?
No, I'm not.
He was a gentleman in town recently deceased. We uncovered the fact that he was a secret priest of some description, worshipping at least an aspect of Nyarlathotep. He had apparently bodies buried in his basement. So if you are aware of any children or people that have gone missing, he might have been the cause.
I am unaware of anything currently, but my connections to Nairobi are limited.
Well, you can spread the word if necessary.
What of the White Gorilla? Do you know anything of them?
They are a cult of small power, not attached to anything as evil as the Bloody Tongue.
So are you saying after all of the servants were killed, this priestess led the expedition up into the mountain?
I'm sorry, what? Say that again.
Are you saying that after all of the servants were killed, the priestess led the expedition up into the mountain?
They probably went with her.
Kidnapped them?
No. Absolutely not.
They went as willing participants.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
Is there any other information that could aid us, or any weapons you may have, or knowledge?
In your investigation, have you picked up anything special?
I pull out a cleaver.
He,
Is it the one with the little Ellard God sign?
Yeah, you've not seen this.
So is the
roll archaeology or anthropology. Please put that away.
Op 3?
Anything of the dark gods should not be here.
Perhaps you should dispose of it.
I don't wish it in the village at all. If you wish to dispose of it, fire would be the fastest way. Something hot enough to destroy that.
Yes.
It's made. It's the style of how it's made is Indian.
Okay.
In nature. That's it.
Hmm.
Anything else you've gotten in your travels? Anything from Egypt that might?
I have the spears of deep ones.
I'll describe what he has described to me and know about. So the mask, contacting Noddins. I basically will just info dump on
Actually,
this guy.
this isn't quite fair because every character that was there was not Jason. So you also have a capstone with a symbol on it, half of a symbol.
The pink capstone.
Oh, yeah.
You weren't here for that, so that's not really fair to expect your character to remember it, but
Okay.
everyone else's, you should know that. They would give you that information. You weren't here for it, though.
Okay.
So the pink capstone.
So, do you have that with you, or could you?
Yes.
Okay. So, you show it to him. He becomes excited. I can, myself and Bandari, my master, the great sage here, give us some time and we may be able to use this to recreate the other part and perhaps use it to seal whatever has been opened in Egypt.
I'm all in favor of that.
That would be good.
Yep.
Well, being that you know magic, maybe you'll be able to learn.
I'm more than willing, but I don't think we have the time, do we?
Not really.
But with
we
this,
have to wait for it.
No, that's going to go back to Egypt. We're going on to the Black Mountain.
So do you understand what the Black Mountain is and what happens there once a
No.
year? It is a great site, or is a site of a great ritual once a year where the cult brings villagers and sacrifices them to summon the god, who is nearly the size of the mountain himself, to appease him.
Do the villagers go willingly?
No sane sacrifice ever goes willingly, so no. This is why the Kikuyu fear them so.
When do they do this?
The next time it will happen will be January 14th, of your 1926.
yes, that is when the prophecy says the birthing will occur.
And that birthing will be devastating.
And so you say that we must go into this Black Mountain and kill this priestess, but beyond that...
Well, there may be more than just that. If it's happening here, then there's... George, I don't know if you remember, but there is also that triangle. So
Yeah.
the Black Mountain would be one point of it, so...
Was the other one in the
Somewhere
ocean
in
and one was in
Shanghai.
Shanghai?
One was in Shanghai, the other one was in Australia.
Australia? Okay.
You guys asked about the center of it, that would have been just
Okay.
water over the ocean.
Got it.
Ocean Cthulhu? What?
So
What?
infiltrate the mountain. How many days travel is this mountain? Does it know where the expedition was killed?
It's close-ish. It'd probably be another half-day travel. If you could go there on something other than horses, it would be way faster, but, you know...
Terrain's too rough.
Yeah, terrain's rough, there's no road, there's trees, it's through a forest.
Hire an airplane and jump out of it.
How about a hot air balloon?
Yeah.
Also,
There actually probably is not hot air balloons here.
It was a mummy reference.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, fair enough. Fair enough.
We could put a propeller on that thing. Oh.
Piloted by
all
Captain
right,
Snoop Dogg.
so I guess we're headed back to Nairobi to meet up with our guide. He's probably wondering where the heck we are.
I mean, should we do an idea, see if there's anything we're missing with this guy, or we pretty much covered the
So
bases?
this priestess,
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't live at the mountain.
Yes, she does.
Oh, she does?
How old is she?
That is a very good question. She had the prophet, or she spoke the prophecy that began this situation 20 years ago.
So every year they've been sacrificing villages to this mountain beast.
Well, beyond that 20 years, they've been doing this.
Oh. She just made it more enthusiastic. I don't know. But yeah, out of character, like, is there anything else we should do with this guy, do you think? Or idea roll or anything?
Would you like to speak with Bandari? It may take some time, but he could rouse within the next few hours.
To do what?
Get more guidance.
Yes.
We need to send a messenger to our guy back in town and tell him to wait. That we've been delayed.
The guy with the car is still sitting there, so he'll be happy to go. Your
Okay.
guide. So you send him.
Yeah.
You guys go and sit for probably 7 hours, drinking water, no food. And so across from this gentleman.
What's that?
So you guys get the sense that as you sit there for the first hour or so, it's clear that Bandari is sitting cross-legged, perfectly still, but he is not here. If he's some sort of sage and he has some sort of mystical power, he has gone somewhere else.
Astrally projected.
That's a way that you would understand it currently. After sitting there for 3 or 4 hours, you all get a little sore and a little tired, and as things go, you keep drinking water, and that's it, because they're not offered food. It gets tiring, but eventually you kind of get a second wind, and you feel a bit of power coming off of Bandari himself that keeps you invigorated.
Steel power. Oh, sorry.
Eventually, the old man stiffens, his body kind of sits up more, and you can perceive an intangible liveliness that was not present before. His eyes open, and he looks at each of you and studies you for a moment. And then he begins speaking in Swahili, which Okamu translates. Your mission is perilous, and the time is desperate. Shall I tell you pleasant things or the truth? The bloody tongue grows arrogant. People across the land disappear into the mountain, stolen by the cult for a horrible sacrifice to come. Leaders are brought low by corrupt thoughts and deeds. Many of us must pray continually to Nagai, the Lord of Kiri Nyaga, Mount Kenya, to stave off this evil. If you seekers have courage, you may achieve much. You must hurry. Okamu can make the arrangements you need, but he cannot do what I can. I have gifts for you.
Cool.
Everybody's just kind of like, cool.
Let's look at 20.
So he
Duke that man 100.
He pulls a bag that you didn't see prior next to him, pulls out a fly whisk. It's an ebony handle carved with the Kikuyu symbol. The fly whisk is thought to be a defense against evil spirits. You have 2 special powers. It adds, I'm just going to tell you what these do, it's not a big deal. It adds 6 more magic points to the holder's ability to defend against magic, specifically, not to your magic pool. It cannot be used to help with spells, and it cannot help to overcome another person's power.
It's just defense.
It only happens, the augmentation only happens at the moment it is required. If the holder's overcome, the whisk still augments, so on and so forth. You can also use it to find hidden evil. It adds 25% chance to the holder's chance for success with any skill used. So if you spot hidden to find something that would be evil, you get 25 extra percent. You were also handed a small wooden cage, also pulled out of this bag that could not have held both of these things.
It's a bag of holding, we understand.
Yeah.
It's not D&D. Go ahead. Moving on.
When you're dealing
It's
with
a
astral
handy
projection.
knapsack.
It is when you're dealing with what?
Astral projection.
Yeah.
Inside is a strange-looking reptile, a warty gray-brown thing with 3 horns sticking forward from its forehead. This is my friend, who is not what she seems. You may call her Who for short. Take her with you and feed her well and daily with flies. She will protect you once, but not against magic. You need but open her cage and free her.
I take the animal.
Cool.
She weighs a few pounds. Not a big deal. That is the best I can give you. I can tell you that at the Black Mountain, you will, or the Mountain of the Black One, you will encounter just one part of the evil that is to come. But maybe the most important part, or the least important part.
I take the whisk.
Fair to say, I don't know how to ask this in-game, but out-of-game. Who has the lowest magic points? Because that's probably you should get the list that adds magic points to defenses.
No, it should go to the person with the most.
Why? They're already well defended. It only works for defense.
It's 6 more for defense purposes. Thus, they won't lose any to the spell that drains the magic points, so they will have all of their faculties to attack.
I can explain it better. You have 10 magic points. If you were holding that, I would still have 140% chance of getting my spell off.
Yeah, but most people are not going to have that many magic points.
I ran into somebody with more in this game.
That was a very special situation.
I have it, so it doesn't matter.
So, you guys are kind of sit there for a few more moments. He goes back into whatever state he was, and you head back to town.
Well, now we understand what the Shanghai and the Australia reference were.
Yep.
George, I need you to roll a spot hidden for me.
Can I use my whisk stuff on that?
No. This is not evil.
Yep. Pass.
After what seems like it's probably been 8 hours now, you're getting kind of tired and you blink a couple times. The world's a little fuzzier.
Cool.
You're actually going to lose 25% of your spot hidden from having your eyeballs melt out of your head.
Permanently?
Nope. Well, yeah, you lose the percentage permanently. So whatever your new percentage is, you'll go up from there. The after effect of that spell.
That's cool.
What's going on? Sorry.
8 hours after the spell goes off, he loses.
One of my eyes leaks
25%.
out.
Well, yeah. But the world, for a moment, it's a little less clear, and it's clear that you're not picking up the same things, the same crispness of detail.
Do I lose an eye or do I just have glaucoma?
Just kind of like a glaucoma, cataract.
Cataracts. Ugh. Do his eyes get cloudy?
No, not for you guys. You can't see it.
Okay.
I'm going to prepare some stuff. Specifically, it's called the Powder of Ibn Ghazi.
Do you have a mummy for that?
It doesn't. That's the other one.
Okay.
No, this one just costs me a magic point per dose I want to create, and it can be used to make the invisible visible. It can also.
So I assume you guys are going to go back to town, sleep the night. 'Cause it's going to be
Yeah.
about nighttime when you get there, or about time for that when you get there, and then head out the next day. Is that what I'm to understand?
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Yeah, after we eat, I'm going to spend some time on the front porch of the hotel. Just about 15, 20 minutes, conspicuously being outside in the street-ish.
Catch your thing on fire.
Just seeing if more stars appear in the night that are going to come swoop down, and we think that problem's taken care of, but I just want to make sure.
No, that's fair. Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to. Is there a Catholic church available, or is it just the
Anglican church?
All right. I still will say I would like to visit a church if somebody would be willing to accompany me for an hour or two. Would anybody be willing to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Given what I've seen from you today, priest, you did well. Yeah, I'll accompany you
Thanks.
to the church.
Dispose of this there. And I pass you something wrapped up that feels like meat cleaver-ish.
So the night goes fine. By fine, you spend your time at the church. You actually probably speak with the rector there, Dr.
No.
Starrett. No?
No. Not just quiet contemplation and
The night goes by just fine. You guys wake up the next day.
Do you burn the cleaver?
Yeah, I assume you just...
I would try to find a brazier somewhere to do that, but
Yeah.
I don't know if the
No,
church
you
would
don't
have
have
it.
anything that hot that would melt it.
Yeah, that's the
You
problem.
might just be better off at a blacksmith.
Then on the way back,
Okay.
I would ask somebody if I could do that, and then bless it as it's.
I offer to help pump the bellows as it,
Yeah, we'll speed things up.
just because I want to help destroy it.
Good.
I don't, would the metal be salvageable, or should it just be?
No, I want to fire that sucker down to clinkers.
Okay.
Gonna burn it out.
All right, then we'll pay to have that done if need be.
Okay. That'll do us tonight on Masks of Nyarlathotep. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter. You can head over to the website at nerdsdom.com and sign up for our newsletter. You can go to patreon.com/nerdsdomain and support us there. And as always, you can find our shirts over at /loot. And we will talk to you real soon.
This has been a production of the Omega Nerds Network, the network where it's on.